What up, fam? Holla back at your boy. It's Elliot. Doing some chores. And I've been feeling inspired. Hi, my name is Elliot. Like, right? Have you met me? To do some tarot with you guys. But I'm working on, the big and small things to bring ourselves and each other a little bit more regularly, a little bit more professionally, which is to say, professing our professional love for one another. But in the meantime, I thought I'd do a quick, and I'm challenging myself to do it quickly, messages from the divine. I'll go through the zodiac, just giving messages. And I'm going to try and keep it super short and quick. For my restrictive exercise, like whatever I do, I always pick something to like engage my own limitations so that it becomes my aspect of my like conditional victory. So for example, in this video, and especially like surmountedly, the tarot part, I'm gonna keep succinct and see how it flows, see how that feels. And all I have to do is vision that in my experience as I continue, and by the end of it, there's no way I can lose unless I know I did, in which case I can see what my challenge was, and the only way I lose is if I was having too good of a time, right? So it's win-win. I'm gonna start with Leo, because that's where we are right now at the timing of this recording. And need I say more? That's it. But I will say one. It's like, oh, I'm using it for a mic. This is my little like portable altar. I'll show you that actually. It's made out of whatever. It's literally like a piece of something that I built that I took apart. It's like the fabric protective covering of a small speaker that I took apart, an eye mask, not a face one, and a tiger's eye. Crystal stone. I'm still here. All I am, all I ever was, and all I will be continually is unsure, uncertain, but trying for the love of the one and all. As many as possible, letting possibility be a finity in the game we call all to love, all to life, and none left at all. Okay. Thank you for your blessings. Leo is the fixed fire sign. Interesting being a fixed fire sign. Okay, just wanted to come out. All right. So I'm not doing a limit. I'm doing a limitation on the time, not the cards, which is interesting for me. The central figure is the is a Two of Cups. One half of the deck is the Ace of Pentacles. The other half is the Hierophant with a Page of Swords, like a little slid. Got a knight, a covered knight appearance, a Nine of Wands, a Five of Swords, King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and the last turn is Four of Pentacles. So Leo, there is a sense, a very real physical sense of arrival, of union, of partnership and connection. Feels like it's been a long time coming, and the truth is, with the King of Pentacles, for me that's Gemini, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles, all kind of chilling here with the four. Those are in the reverse. These the Four of Pentacles is upright, so it's telling me uh, there's an overcoming of holding tightly and letting it flow, and that flow is bringing together a moment in connection, which doesn't need to flow because it's not. It's already flowing. So letting a connection occur is an event in time describing what's already a part of the flow. And that is backed up with a sense uh, of standing your ground, of opposing authority. Page of Swords for me, that's Taurus. So I'm like Taurus, Gemini. This is for Leo, like not saying one thing or another, but if it resonates with you in an extra meaning, it's true. And the Hierophant, 559. Yeah, this is Leo season portal. We are overcoming the restrictions and limitations of how we thought we were supposed to succeed, because Leo's like the success of us all. It's Leo's what house? The seventh house? No, it is, isn't it? It is Taurus, Cancer, the fourth house. No, no way. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, fifth house. That makes sense, of course. Love, children, having kids, playfulness, romance, sex, like the pleasure of it, pleasure in general. The Five of Swords, I love that card. It's like a recruitment card of a sort, and we're moving away from this energy of like that we have to like be like, yeah, like we've got something good, like, and it's freely available, to instead the Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, the arriving, the receiving. Virgo, 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 Virgo. Leo's super like personal to me, and I'm sharing these parts because you'll hear how every zodiac sign is made special and relevant to me in some area of my life. So Virgo, Leo's especially relevant to me because I don't have a lot happening in there, except I was supposed to be a Leo. I was born early, and my pars, like Fortune, my pars Fortuna, which is like I'm gonna say Chaldean, Phoenician, like Middle Eastern astrology symbol, as well as sidereal. That is a balance between the night and the day and the ecliptic, blah, blah, blah. I can tell you, but it's not that interesting. And if you do find it interesting, it's your avenue to look it up. Uh, it's just like, it's not your north node where your soul's, it's like not where you'll find your soul's purpose. Instead, you'll find blessings and gifts. And that might have a lot of emphasis or not. Anyway, Virgo is relevant and special to me because it's my 10th house. And again, I don't have 10th house a lot happening in, I don't have much planetary action happening in the 10th house. But because it's empty and void of planets, it's actually receiving an oppositional energy from a lot of things. And I've heard something while I was learning like astrology from somewhere that really struck a cool chord. And that was like, look, when you see your natal chart, areas where there's not a lot happening, where you don't have a lot of planets, you don't have a lot of like extraplanetary celestial energies, you can also recognize that it's like the opposite of a weakness. Like your soul came in with so much of that that the extraterrestrial energies are for progression and moving you forward, but they're balancing out the unseen in the always been. Virgo, that was for you. We've got an like a closed deck, like signal, a five of swords, uh, a two of wands, a two of swords, a two of pentacles, and a queen of wands. The five and the two are reversed, the swords. The wands, the pentacle energy is upright. Queen of wands is, for me, speaks of Leo, but it can be any of the fire signs. Okay, Virgo, it's time. You're going from a point of balancing and having everything balanced, a kind of, I want to say, a fiery stability, the Queen of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, not as like a balancing act in challenge, but in jest, like managed, a queen of that situation. It's physicalish, but it's, I would say, environmental because we've got the presence of the sea. And you've had your eye on the prize, like the future coming, which is the arrival of community, company, like marvels to your cause. And the Two of Swords and the crescent moon is actually the creation of a restrictive limitation where you've cut out all decisions, like you've cut out all options except two, something that feels like either or, and you can only win with either or. So good on you, Virgo. Success and a decisiveness that allows for like binary as opposed to all-encompassing, like an all-encompassing harmonic. It's more of like a binary harmonic. And I imagine just rolling through with the queenly energy. If you're a dude, then you're a queen. If you're a chiquita, then you're a queen. Unless there's someone in your life, in which case you're a queen too. This is Libra. Okay. Libra. Some might say this is like a messy spread, but this is, can I get a little bit of an angle on you out there? I guess that'll create some sharing. Right? Yeah, okay. Oh, stay focused, diet. Just went on my like science brain. How can I light shades? Yeah. Libra the 7th house. 6th house, why was relevant to me too, is Virgo is the 6th house. And it's my 10th house, but my North Node is in my 6th house. So even though it's Taurus there, the Virgo energy is, my 6th house is governed by a Virgic energy. Anyways, so now Libra. Libra's the last zodiac sign that I, again, have like no real celestial presence, even including some of the more obscure ones. But it is the location of Arcturus. It is said to be like one of the like almost origin points of perhaps the universe, near the beginning of Libra. It's through, in our non-local linear experience of time, the Libra is a very, I want to say, championed energy of choice. And we've got the Justice card, the 9 of Pentacles, the Queen, the Sun, the Queen of Pentacles, 7 of Wands, and the Moon. Now the Moon is kind of covering a reversed 4 of Cups and a reversed 5 of Pentacles. The Sun is reversed a little bit over the Queen. You know what? Okay, cool. The 9. And we've got a bit of like a covered Page of Swords and 9 of Swords energy. I guess these readings are going to be somewhat thematic, and that we're all of us in this together. So in your 7th house and Libra in your chart, you've got the Sun on your back and the Moon at your door. And the heavens themselves have seen what you've been through, what you've endured, and divine justice is as it's always been, and it's delivering you unto yourself. Because the 7 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles are aligned. And the Page of, it's like there's a divine, the Queen of Pentacles is Aquarius to me, and it also embodies, as far as like the humanly natured, it's the energy of Aquarius a little bit. It's the idea that like, and this is where we tell you you're not in control of the timing of everything. Just gotta let divine timing flow. So the divine timing is arriving. Go Libra. And thoughts that have been troubling you are not just being laid to rest, but realizing that they are like the form of your blessings. Like your curses are really just the gifts that have been trying to knock on your door without getting killed by you and your naturally divine, protective, linear, like experiential nature. And there's no more defenses. Right, the Taurus, that Page of Swords energy. It's not that it's laid down. It's like, oh wait, the Page of Swords just one play. And it's like cops and robbers. It's like, oh, well, which one's the bad guy? Neither. We just need somebody to play. And all of that getting you or you getting me and like damaged that we were perceived was not real damage. It's just tag. Cool. That was cool. Libra, Scorpio. Eighth house in your chart. Scorpio, Leo's the sun, Virgo's a combination. I'd say it's very earthly. Libra is, I want to say, very galactic. These are my personal associations with the planets, as well as the traditional and the like exoteric, esoteric. And those are the interesting ones to me. Leo, the sun, no big deal. Virgo, traditionally, it's an earth sign, but it's airy. It's the mutable earth sign, anyways. Earth, traditionally, don't care. Libra, it's airy, but fixed, right? Because Scorpio's cardinal, mutable. No, after cardinal is fixed. Before mutable is fixed. Scorpio's fixed, duh. Libra is cardinal. So we're considering for the moment the rulerships of the houses in astrology. It's like, why is that relevant? Because if you divine and design your own like God head force interface of interrelatability, then the houses in your chart can mean nothing, but they can totally mean something. And if they don't mean anything because you know they mean something and you don't let them mean anything, then unconsciously there's going to be a drive and it's driven by a fear. It doesn't sound like it's a big one, but it's probably underlying the only fear, which is the noodles, the niggles, the nuggets that we chew on, bite, and spit out and then pick back up, no matter the 5-second rule, because we want to. I associate Libra with the more like the asteroid belt as well as the Cooper belt type energy. Now Scorpio. Scorpio is water. It's fixed water. It's ancient water. I say Scorpio's got strong associations with the moon, but all the planets, anything that touches water, has strong associations with the moon. Okay, so we'll see what comes through Scorpio. Thank you. Okay, the Eight of Cups and the Death card in reverse. That is both divinely untroubled. There's a journey that must go on, and so it's going. It's like death, and this turning our backs of a sort is infinite. So whatever you're going through in your life, especially emotionally, it came up in the cups and in the water of Scorpio, and rebirth is relevant. Scorpio's the eighth house. The eighth house is uh, eternity. Don't be like, it's okay if you're feeling like everything is, you're born again, but you've got this whole other life. It's like the Matrix. It's like, how do I? How do I? That's cool. It's like they're driving in the car, and he goes to Trinity. That noodle shop, he used to go to get noodles there. I have all these memories from my life. Like, what does that mean? Trinity says it means that the Matrix cannot tell you who you are. And in my younger interpretation, in my under-analyzed conversation with self around it, it's like, yeah, man, it means like you're like, it's nothing. That means it doesn't matter. It's like a blank slate. But someone like Buddha might turn around, because Buddha to me is like the gangster. If he was here, he'd be rapping. If he was there, whatever like era he's in, he's like, again, like a rapper. Like he's slick like that. Whereas Jesus for me is a little bit more of a rock star. And there is no Jesus without Mary. Like they're more of like a duet team. She's more like the gas of the fire, and he's more of the steam. You know what I mean? What was I saying? I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to it. But 8th house Scorpio. And we've got an 8 on the bottom of the deck that didn't want to be immediate. Another 8, rather. So we've got 2 8s. And Judgment underneath. And a 10 of Wands. And a Knight of Wands. Look at the 8 of Swords for a little like reinterpretation. See all the swords? Do any of those look Arthurian? Which is to say, like they driven to the hilt into the ground? No. What about her wrappings? They look particularly tight, like she couldn't like just like kind of wiggle like a nightgown and just fall to her ankles. I mean, I think her headband, like it could probably slide off. She could probably see, if she moves around, and she can certainly probably pull her arms, although they might be behind her. In fact, they kind of look like that, and like she's holding her hands like that. I bet she's got both ends of. I bet she got both ends, and there's no knot. There's power here, and it's self-empowered. The nonsensical, universal cosmic power of self, and not needing anything inside or outside self, because that's all is self. Over the Judgment, like you're right, you're being reborn. And when you've lived a lot of lives, right? A lot of Wands, 10 or more, 9 plus 1. Like it's a lot of energy to move them, right? So like, does that look like he's trying really hard to pick them up, or trying really hard to push them, right? Or trying to keep them from moving, Either way, it's a 10, a point of restability. And it's not even a 10, because we've got the XXX. So there's 30. I just got a channel of it's the whole planet's going through rebirth. Scorpio, and what's dying is the 3060, 1224 linear binary system, and what's being remembered, rediscovered, reinvented, reordered, re-celebrated is something more akin to containing and being at the same time all that's within. So Scorpio, it's a bit more of a collective message, but we are. It's a huge shift right now, and if you're feeling radically different, then Buddha would say the matrix cannot tell you who you are, but that means that you were that person that was you enjoying those noodles. And you didn't know what you didn't know. You thought you knew what you knew. But how's that any different than any day? How's that different from now? So the matrix cannot tell you who you are any more than the not matrix can tell you who you are. Just more truth. And the more truth, the least you need to know the truth of thyself. Know thyself is also like a no to other self as anything other than myself. Sagittarius! I'm Sagittarius rising. I love it. I didn't always know about the rising sign, but I've been studying astrology my whole life. Sun signs easily through like the teenage years, and like as a person that's avid reader of everything, just a bit of a nerd geek. That stuff's cool. Um, the mythology and everything like that. And then in my 20s onward, starting in my like in 18, 19, I have delved to all the nooks and crannies of this type of esoteric knowledge. And finding out your rising sign can be really cool because it's who you are, who you've always been, but it's who you're not yet either. And it's a kind of motorcycle ride. If we're driving the family van of life, it's your own personal like fast lane to who you think is cool to you being that person. Might be a very Sagittarian type of view, but what can I say? I'm 0 degrees Sagittarius. Also, I was born when the zodiacal house of Sagittarius was uh, just on the horizon. So if I was born later, I would be a Scorpio rising. And I was like 0 degrees, it goes backwards, but it's forwards, east to west. Uh, so I've got a lot of resonance with Scorpio. I've also got Scorpio is my 12th house, which is my south node, and it's got Scorpio. It's got Scorpio. It's got fucking Scorpio. It's got Saturn, which I have a very strong love-hate relationship with. And Scorpio is Pluto too, but in another house. So where is uh, Sagittarius for you? Sagittarius is the ninth house of higher learning, which is, I would just want to say, the fluffier stuff. Like you like physics, you like math, and even like taking all those things into the theoretics. That's third house education. Ninth house is like take theoretics and make it imaginary. It's like non-calculable but highly intelligent. Ninth house is more concerned with being like witty and clever as a manner of being funny, whereas the third house um, wants to make points that are hard hitting in those ways that are still funny, but also wants to laugh at um, funny everything. Sagittarius. Mutable fire sign. You keep saying mutable and cardinal and fixed. What's your opinion about that stuff, Elliot? Well, let me tell you. All right, Saggy. We've got the Eight of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Magician, and the Four of Wands. So I see the 8, which is really just a toroidal circle over the Magician. Like, look at that line over his head and make it a Mobius strip, which is like a circle. You connect the ends by making it like by turning 45 degrees. And now it's a circle around his head, like the top of a toroid. I don't know. I've been allowed to say that online forever, so it's good to know that the world is shifting paradigm. I was like, wow, that's circled, and what's the cup? Kind of looks like something to. Ooh, I don't know. I just never really noticed it myself. It's over top the 10 of Wands. 4 and the 7 are reversed with the Magician. Upright is 8 of Wands. Sagittarius, you fiery mofo. You finally, maybe projecting a little bit, bear with me. If you're watching this and you resonate with Sagittarius, then we are the same. It's like you're the magician. Everything is the show. The show is it's done. Like the 8 of Wands, message has been sent. This is a message. This is a confirmation. You know, the 7 of Wands and the Magician, for me, the way that it's the same person, but it's like the higher self and the lower self, the inferior and the superior, the equals, the union of the binary, and arriving. Maybe this is advice because this is what I know I'm working with, is arriving at this new point of, because the way I did it, it's like union, messages coming and going, 4 of Wands, like it's the, like you can see that your goals, you're on the path of your goals, like they are achieved, and then letting go, like relaxing your magic and your work to allow the cosmos, the spirit, to fill the space between now and then, right? The way that because I've got these 2 downturned piles, right? And then the rest of the life, all the questions, all the answers, no, we just need to keep asking them, but we're not. They're downturned because, like, if we just rest here, in a way, it's like the guru gone, no expecting, all is coming, never doneing, completed. Just kidding. All right. And there's like astral power. This is all soul power, man. This is so there's soul is the most powerful force in isness and not. It is the is what the it is what we define as the power. And this has been rest upon the work has been accomplished. It's been written, read, sprayed, said, danced, and like it's etched in soul and in the fire of it all, not in anything less substantial or more corruptible. It's pure. So let everything else be good or bad, because no, like you're the magician, you are the man. Uh, if you're the girl, then you're the man. And I'm not used to speaking this way because it's pretty self-evident, but respecting viewership and the channel of like YouTube and the idea of this being viewed by anyone. Just if you're a girl and somebody calls you the man, like you're the man, and they mean it like you're the man, like the man, like you know what I mean. However, the cultural we mean. What a terrible refrain as like a unreleased to instead of being receiving the compliment of like you're the better than me, you know, uh, in praise. There's this obstacle that needs to be hopped always, almost, you know, of like, oh, but I'm a girl, you know, I'm the woman, you know, and that's just a shame. Because if someone calls me like mama bear or something like that, I could go through the same thing, and I would actually I do, but it's, the truth is just like the truth of being the man. You know, it means the awesome thing. Ooh, that was very tempted of me. Tempt the fates, right? Sagittarius. Those are hard. It's a hard one because we're so fiery. And the work that we do is like Sagittarius is also like that's Sagittarius A, the black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Right, 27 degrees, 26, 25, 24, depending on when you were born. You'll find the galactic center on your. Oh, I love it. It's the most beautiful roll of thunder in your natal chart. It's like a very strong uh, elder plane type energy. Neither here nor there. Anyways, Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. Capricorn often gets labeled as a goat, but it's not a goat. It's like a mythological beast from the sea, actually. It's the goat with like sea legs. Capricorn, we've got the Queen of Wands, the Page of Wands, a swords, Knight of Pentacles, and a Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is barely visible. It's covered with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Pentacles upright with it. The Page of Wands is upright with it. Page of Wands is my Sagittarius card. By the way, when I say it's mine, I did get this from a book, which is uncommon for me to have a singular entity responsible for some kind of personal categorization, but I like it. It's easy. So if it doesn't make sense to you, don't let it. It doesn't matter. Page, I also think of, if you want to know something about me that's a little different, the way that I read is for me, the pages are the next level. They're not the beginnings. The pages come after the kings, right? Like the queen is the head of the order. The king serves the queen. The kingdom serves the king and is in serves with the king basically, and serves the queen. And the pages, whether the princes or princesses, are those that have in community created this social window of energy, space, consciousness, time manifestation in the form of themselves to be in service to the processes of choice making and that are critical, but no more or less mundane than everything else in that happens in the courts or in the kingdom. So all that to say, it's like, whoa, Elliot, just let it dance on your eardrums. Uh, the pages are the next kings and queens. And while they might not have a kind of final, or rather, they don't have immediate say as much as they think, they have final say because everything that the court is otherwise coordinating is to and for the pages from which they were to, right? So, Capricorn. Okay. Capricorn is governed by Saturn. It is the 10th house. The 4th house is like the maternal energy. The 10th house is the fraternal. I don't like paternal because that's like P is neither F nor M. But if your natal chart is a compass from east to west, AC is east, DC is west, MC and IC is if like straight up at the sky, horizon to horizon, straight up is 10th house. So straight down, which you got to think of a planet is actually around, right? It's like the scar, the zodiac, it's still all rotating from over here. So it's not like below or above or anything. Like it's like bam, right? But you can look at your natal chart as like what houses 1 through 7 are below the surface. So 1 through 6 really, and then 7 through 12 are worldly, external, above the surface. But I'm developing my own methodology that I'd like to teach as a standard to our community for looking at how our understanding of astrology is evolving, inserting very real, everyday, like time, mechanical relationships with it, and then going beyond and looking at the revolutionary nature of the astral light and its movement, rather than cyclical but spherical. Because, and we'll do it, but the 13th house, or the 13th zodiac, is Ophiuchus. Why is there a 13th and not a 16th? Good question. If there's a 13th zodiac, is there a 13th house? No. Because it's not written anywhere that 13 zodiacs or 13 anythings can't be divided among 12. Especially if they're not divided. but just enclosed and differentiated. We'll come back to that when we get to Fucus. But Capricorn. I'm Capricorn for the world because of the super powerful South Node transit that just completed. That slow and steady persistence through the long winter, the cold. It's like I'm seeing, okay, so I'm basically seeing you arriving at this new now, and the Ace of Swords, it's like you're being knighted as a Knight of Pentacles, but even maybe you're like being kinged you're king from a far off land, being greeted by the Page of Wands, or like the Page of Wands is where you want to be, is arriving at even. This is like your future. And for me, it's like there's an inventiveness, there's a moving things along energy to the Page of Wands, a brashness, a theatric nature, loud, doesn't mind being rude, but supremely humble and respectful and honoring. And the Queen of Wands, which isn't even really like the Page of Wands energy, which whether it's you or like another younger energy or anything like that, is feeling almost like there's an energy of arrival. It's like, yeah, and this is you, right? As well as like, because everything's you. Yeah, there's this energy, like an arrival of an expectancy, and this Leo, possibly, or other fire Queen of Wands energy, which never had a doubt. Like it's like you're arriving at where you've always been, and like your equal, yourself, your divine partner, is not excited, but everyone takes their own journey to get to their own seat. So that's how we can all like lovingly respect where we've all been and what we've all been through and how we're different, and not be especially excited because it's like a finally, it's like an always excited. So I'm like, yeah, we're here. Okay. Aquarius. Capricorn is super relevant for me because it's my second house. I have Uranus in Sagittarius, and at 15 degrees of Sagittarius, 15 degrees of Sagittarius is the great attractor. It's like this gravitational or gravitic anomaly in the universe. It's like just imagine it's like another kind of really big black hole or something like that. But it's like the opposite of a black hole, that instead of doing the opposite of what a black hole does what a black hole does, because it's that many revolutions through its own cyclical energetic evolution. What? Yeah, buddy. Okay. And my second house of Capricorn has 2 degrees Neptune, which is across from 0 degrees Mars of Cancer. And even though it's my second house, my Cancer is still in my 7th. So it's an interesting dynamic and push-pull. Neptune has been especially meaningful and possessive of my life and yours for its duration in Pisces for the last like 8 years. But but especially for me because it's been pretty much sitting on my moon sign in Cancer. Sorry, in Pisces. Feels like indefinitely. Second house is also the house of like possessions, which is esoterically, do you have a body? Do you have a soul? Do you have a spirit? So it's just been really a lessoner, especially with Saturn in Scorpio rebirthing, and Saturn governs Capricorn. It's like, so these are ways that you can self-determine the astral biography that is your spirit, soul, fiction, character, alter ego. Mwahaha. Mwahaha. I love you too. Okay. Aquarius. 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 Okay. 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 And okay. Cool beans, Aquarius. Age of Aquarius, you are not fucking around. You've got Ace of Pentacles, Four of Wands, Four of Cups, the Devil, Three of Pentacles, Four of Swords, the Sun, Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, and the Fool. What? Now, I'm only like some of these, and the Moon. What? Like, I'm just catching corners, but that's part of the story. That they're still here, and they only need to be admitted a little bit. The governing forces in this read right now, Aquarius, the fixed air sign. So much fun. I've got third house Aquarius with Jupiter and the Moon in my third house, but only Jupiter in Aquarius. I've got the Moon in Pisces. Very, 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 very Aquarian. Third house is really strong and important to my life's work for sure. Aquarius, I almost want to say your Capricorn has been overcome. And how that can mean is, if we're going to the age of Aquarius and we're going from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius, then eventually we'll go to the age of Capricorn, and all eventualities are already present, already past. So to get to Aquarius, we almost need to make a peace with what could be Capricorn at the same time, while the sun, like for us, the motion is, if it was the age of Pisces, it's going into the age of Aries, and another level of where we are. But is it Aries, or is it just in that direction? In that regard, we are moving into the age of Aquarius. On another level of being, we're moving out of an age of Capricorn. And if you think of the most loving, perfect, divine combination of energies that can be said to coexist because energy within them can transition from one to the other, as in Capricorn to Aquarius, then even then, there's going to be a conflict of frictionalizing where um, opportunities to change and become one abound. So for me, this energy is really, it's the Fool dominant. It's like the fours, the eight, the moon, like you, the sun and the moon on your side. It's all been overcome. It's all been done. This Aquarian energy with the pentacles and the wands and the cups, and it's like you don't have to do anything anymore. Just let it be one. You know. But can you turn your back on everything that you did to be all of that and move forward? That may be being like a story, but not what you're on, right? It's like how you got here isn't no longer can be your platform. To exist in the now, your platform has to just always be the cliff that you're stepping to the edge of on. So whether that's your past and your identity of how you are and who you are and what you've done to be, that's all fine and well, so long as what you do next is always in the direction of not where you've been. Like it's the action of like stepping off a cliff because you've never been there yet. Some stuff there for my own clearing and yours too, ours, right? Thank you for our healing. It's just in that direction, the Fool, it's like people look like he's gonna jump off the cliff. It's like you'd have to be an idiot to jump off the cliff if you don't think you're gonna like do something. But it's foolish maybe to go to the very edge of the cliff just to see what it's like there. And you'll continue on your path. But can you be the Fool that stands there under the sun at great danger? Because everyone can trip and fall, right? Except the Fool. Because the Fool isn't thinking about the landscape that brought him there. He's too busy not thinking about the landscape. That his feet are on. And the edge of a cliff is no closer to the edge, like the falling edge, than a mile away. Pisces. Interesting. Okay, Pisces. Ace of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Temperance, Six of Wands, King of Swords, High Priestess, and someone blue. Oh, that's so teasing, Spirit. Okay, that's cool, right? All right, Pisces. Again, I'm Pisces Moon. Pisces is the 12th house. Sorry, Pisces is Neptune. Cancer is the moon. You see, I'm kind of wired there a little bit. All right, there's a lot. It's beautiful. So we've got like a fifth dimensional energy here, being 4 Pentacles, the Sun, King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, 2 of Cups, Judgment, the Hermit, the 5 of Swords. Yeah. Okay. If you're Pisces, or you resonate especially with that part of your chart, you're my favorite. In a way, in that you know what I mean, that nobody else would know what we mean, because Pisces anythings can only ever be understood by Pisces anythings other than themselves as themselves and whatever, because we just don't ever conform to those vines or lines or signs. Simple, all simple. Fish, pie, seas. Right? That's how we go through life. So, and like succeed. Singularity has been achieved. Binary has been reunited. There is a sense. King of Swords is Libra energy. Queen of Pentacles is Aquarius energy. Temperance. All is done. All is coming. All is here. Supported by the one, by the other, by the only. This is really powerful because this might be the part of the reason that I'm saying this opportunity, this why I've been called to do this pull, is that we've been saying that a cycle's closing for a while. That we're closing. We're doing the cycle is closed. It's happened more than it's happening. Ten of Pentacles. We did it. We loved, we warred, we conquered, we soared, we crashed, we died, we held, we died. We released, we loved, we cared and held and died. And we never stopped changing what needed to be changed to see the only thing that we've only seen and go where the only place we were ever going to go. But really didn't like what we were until we got there. But we had to be something not ourselves until we arrived at the only place where we were ourselves, because you can only be all of that in one being. And it's like, oh yeah, it's everything. It's everything. Like temperance has been applied. The king and the queen, the seen, the unseen, the two, the one, the only, the self two, the not self two, the four, the held, the released, the never let go. It's all gorgeous. And the Two of Cups wanted some extra attention. So Pisces, you've got a divine union, because some things die, and some things always stay the same. No matter who you come as. Because the heart doesn't lie. I'm going to do a fucus because my favorite channel on YouTube is All to Love TV. It is run by the founder of the All to Love movement and author, YouTube aficionado, and that anybody on YouTube grows affection for. Guru, teacher, yogi, lover, and lover of all. And not the only, because I'm the only, but not the only. She's a great tarot reader, whom I follow her tarot regularly because she's just so fucking intuitive and psychic that wherever you are, whoever you are, and whenever you see her shit, she's gonna speak to like some part of you that if you just listen, you're gonna heal from it. It's ridiculous. One of like the people in my journey so far that have like convinced me of the power of ourselves because of what she demonstrates magically. And I can believe it's like, wow, I'm not doing that. So if you haven't checked her out, I include her book in my description, and I do that too because you're allowed to be a fan of something, and it's remarkable to me that in the last few years of my awakening, which is this process where we'll just like ballpark it as like from 2017 and maybe 2018 knowingly onward, I am a carnivorous whore for why. And I'm curious by my not scared to die nature. And so I've seen and heard a lot of things, and none of them are true unless they're true for me, right? Like we're all the author of our own universes. But I say that because her book, which is called The Fearless Life Guide, her name is MJ Robertson, and her channel is All to Love TV. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? When you start experiencing dimensions, when you gotta like look up what the fuck dimensions are because you're experiencing something real. And it's yourself, so you can't deny it. And it can all be really foreign and crazy seeming, and you're the crazy. It's like, what's going on? Everybody's talking about this and that, and light and angels and demons and tarot and spirit and blah blah blah. I've read all the self-help stuff as a part of like my own education previously, right? Like I'm an expert in that field professionally, like an excellence coach and how things work, principles of success. It's like principle coaching. That's what I do. Whether it's her channel, I'm watching her like live speaking to something, if it's on autoplay, I haven't seen it before, but it's from a year ago, from wherever it's, but it's in my autoplay, or uh, or reading her book, which I've got to say, I picked up a copy recently, but I first listened to it because I'm an Audible head, and she reads it herself, and it was really good. It was really good. But what blew me away was how relevant it was to all of this. Like, we're evolving. Love is a power, and empathy is an aspect of humanity. And not everybody like expresses all the aspects of opportunity. But here are some tools and a bunch of relatability. I really believe in practicing her expressed experience that I can know more about what is happening in my experience, and that I have not found singularly elsewhere. A couple close contemporaries, uh, and I'm really out there. She's really right here. And you know, yeah, yeah. And this episode is sponsoring her. Not sponsored by. Or her and her company do not know that I'm blabbing for England for her, because none of us know all the different people that are singing our praises when we're away. And that's just the truth of like sharing and caring. She does a fucus. I'm doing a fucus because you're my community, and chances are you know exactly what I'm saying. And I get to say on this platform what you feel too. Isn't that fun? Okay, cool. All right. Ophiuchus, if you're looking at like a natal chart and you're including Ophiuchus, it goes from 15 degrees of Sagittarius to I don't know. I feel like just 30 degrees of Sagittarius. But it might eat into Capricorn. Or Capricorn, it gets turned into something really big. Either way. I look at it as like if I'm looking at its influence in my life as an energy, and because I can, why not? I look at because now we're back at the first house. But where's a fucus in the sky? A fucus in the sky is around Scorpio and Sagittarius. It's around Corvus. It's around which is the crow. It's Ophiuchus is the snake bearer to Aquarius being the aqua bearer, the water bearer. And situated as it is between mutable and fixed gives it a kind of cardinal energy. But it's cardinal in the like, okay, so Aries, Gemini, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. That's the first four elements, and then the next four, and then the next four. This is how this is one way of categorizing. One way of looking at that I've kind of picked up in my own learning that I've found helpful as far as like the turn of energies and what things can express. The child energy, the beginning energy of the first four, and then Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio is the kind of mid-range, like the well adult, and then the third is like the master wizard end of the life, um, maximum potential like of this energies. But also, I look at it as well, mutable, fixed, cardinal. There's no fourth thing. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer is all of a cardinal energy of the zodiac. And then, because Aries is cardinal. And then Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, they are a fixed energy of the zodiac. And then Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces are the mutable areas of the zodiac. Is that the way it is? Yeah, but only because I'm saying it now and it's making sense. Right? And then I've already like in my split second like hyperdimensional analysis recognized the affinities, but it's a cool way to look. And so when I look at the 13th house, I look at, well, what's the 13th house? Well, I live in an apartment building, and so I live in an apartment. To see the state of my home, my natal chart, my apartment, and I can go in a circle around it, and I encompass everything. But my apartment building is no less my home, even though it's less just mine. Although I'm participating and involved in more of like uh, collective, otherly paradigm, simultaneously as a spiritual being, it's also more self-defining and singular, right? So in one way, it's another first house, but like more than anything. And then in another way, it's the first three houses. What if houses 1, 2, and 3 are really just one house in a galactic zodiac system? Because the other way that I look at Ophiuchus pertinently is we live in the Milky Way galaxy. Ophiuchus is a galaxy. Sagittarius is another galaxy. Andromeda is a galaxy. So part of the game that I play and the kind of standards that I'm resetting, because you like what I'm selling, then it's yours. I'm selling it cheap, right? Like, and all I mean is to say, zodiac astrology, it's all just a system, but we need systems if we're gonna interact and play. So the next zodiac spin is not the same zodiac that we're already used to, but we can use the things that are real and familiar to us. Because if I was just a galaxy, then I would be an Earth or a Milky Way being rotated over and around a central sun or something like that, with another moon or something like that, and then other like frames of reference that I call little things, but they're really fucking galaxy clusters. You know what I mean? Um, and Ophiuchus is the emergent one. It's like everyone's like, 13th house, 13th. If you just walk around being like, 13 what, motherfuckers? I'm one. Or none. Stop trying to put me in a box. I will not be framed. Snakes. Dragons. Bearing. Yes, no? I don't know. Okay. So, uh, for Ophiuchus, we've got an interesting, like, kind of, this is how everything else has been kind of like flowing. This is Rubik's Cube. King of Swords, Tower, Page of Wands, got a bit of a full presence, and a little over some blue and some gray. So King of Wands, King of Swords is Libra energy. Page of Wands, Sagittarius energy. At the very bottom of the stairwell, that is the staircase. But is it going up or down? Because it's faced upwards. So it's for us to determine. We've got the Fool. The way light turns, the way that the light moves through space is like this. If you take something electric, something magnetic, and you make them turn, and the points that they meet is the spark that we call light. It's happening continuously in the stream, and that's actually a manner of, like, that's everything. That's light. That's right. So it moves like this, and at the points. So in between those points, there's no light. Okay. So if we're spiraling up a staircase or down it, the only frame of reference we have, if it's just ourselves as far as what's up and down, it's gravity and shadow. referencing the light source. So we've got floor lighting. Our shadows are only present on the ceiling. And gravity is pulling us downwards, so it feels like we're walking upwards. But what if you open that door at the top of the staircase into a room where you're now upside down because you were in a shipping container that just like changed gravity, but it was just upside down, and you were right based on your experience, but then what you thought was up is down. Well, that tower's falling. And the King of Swords, the Justice, is your shadow. And it doesn't matter what up and down is, left or right. Only that you're uphilling, downhilling, enjoying the movement. And if you want a frame of reference as far as where you are, where you've been, and where you're going, then look to your shadow. And then feel your heart. Because if the light source is right behind you, then you can see everything that's before you except what's right in front of you, because your own shadow is blocking that. But what's right in front of you, it doesn't need to be bright to see either. And you're also clearing a way for. Something that was always stuck out to me, I'll close with this, my loves, is I never realized just how connected and like relevant to my heart the fairy tale of Peter Pan was and has been to me as a kid. Like, I had this book of fairy tales, and it was the fairy tale book, and it was characterized because I have a brother that's 14 months my separate, so we're close in age. It was ripped, so it had no cover, and it was missing some story. And part of the story that was ripped was the Peter Pan story. But between that and Robin Williams' Hook alone, it left an indelible kinsness on my soul. One thing is Robin Williams underneath the tree being like finding his happy thought, because I've always wanted to fly, and happy thoughts are harder to come by than not, but they're there and they help you fly. But also this idea, this has really tripped me out, and I've always actually kind of kept it like in a corner of my like esoteric sleuthing. It's like, what's the deal with this, yo? God source. It's like, we keep some mysteries till later, because it's all I Spy with My Little Eye, just fun. How he had to like try and find his shadow. Like, his shadow ran away from him, and he would try and pin the shadow to him in the wall, and it was like ha ha ha, like the divine. But I thought it was really cool. So let your happy thought be the why, whether you're climbing up or down. And if you're a beautiful, godly soul, then chances are you've got a fucking Tinkerbell, and she's sprinkling you with all of your own magic, fairy capacitance dust to enable you to follow your happy heart to fly. It's because you're flying not to get there. You're flying because you want to fly because you think flying would be so much fun. And we can stay a child and have our shadow follow us because we're not trying to pin it down. And we're not saying you have to follow me, you have to obey the light source. We're not frowning when it's not around, and we're also not looking for it or confusing our own shadow for other things because I wasn't look yeah, it's just your own fucking shadow. Calm down. And now this shadow is like, I'm my own thing, god damn it. Release me. I'll be your best friend. Your shadow speaking shadow and you speaking light. Just imagine why your whole life it feels like you've got two wolves inside of you and they're fighting. But after all you've done, after all we've done, you're now like spirit fluent. You're now fluent in spirit, which gives you fluency uh, in shadow. And your shadow has of its own accord, if you of your own accord, which is the love, it's fluent in light. When you're fluent in light and dark, you're fluent in spirit. And these aspects of ourselves. In the end, I'll close with this. Another endorsement. His Dark Materials. It's probably the last, uh, not definitively, but the, potently, the last fiction books that I really read in a row that made an indelible mark on my soul. It made the first time that I ever cried as a person for like the happiness of something, the way that it made me feel was I was reading near the end of that 3-book series. Um, like it was still touched with a little bit like woe is me, but I was probably 20 or something like that, so it was fitting to be the healing. But in that world, which covers many universal world schema possibilities, um, everybody has a daemon, which is in this world, it takes the form of an animal, any animal. And when you hit an age of maturity, it settles into a form, and it can't go very far from you. It can never be separated. And when you die, it dies, disappears, whatever. So imagine in this world, you've got this aspect of other self, something that you can argue with, something that can do what you don't want it to do, and ultimately, like inevitably, can't be proven wrong for its decisively willingness to love you and be loved by you, and like honesty is so upheld that it's like breathing. But just because you have to breathe, just because you have to love, just because you have to trust, just because you have to be true, doesn't mean breathing on purpose and being true on purpose doesn't bring with it its own like, wow, this is why I'm alive. And this is your daemon. It's like this other thing, but it's you. And I'll spare you the story because it's worth it. I actually might read it on this channel because I want to read more and I like reading to you, so we'll figure it out. Is hi, my name is Elliot. Oh, I have you come into this world and I don't have a daemon. Oh no, it turns out you've had a daemon the whole time. It's been inside you. That's all. We live in a world where our daemons are inside us. So we argue with ourselves, and then we make ourselves crazy. I'm crazy. What am I talking to myself? And all the everything that I don't need to explain. Well, what if your fucking daemon is your shadow, and this like thing that you can't relate to is really actually being you, is still you, and there's nothing you can do to undo that. But there's also nothing you can do to equate it to you more than something other than you. Because it's like, I make up my own mind, bitch. But it's you. I have really curly hair. Sometimes it can feel like my hair is my daemon. It's like you're going to do what you want to do, right? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right. So in closing, your daemon's in love with you. And you're in love with your daemon. And part of that is just the fact that everything's this fucking staircase. And it doesn't matter if you're going up or down. It just depends on how you want to feel. And if you're ever curious or it's important that you know to you where you're going, what and where the ground is, then you can come into your heart and expect nothing and receive truths that are held there always because you've never denied them and they've just are tested true. The universe, God, love, everything just can't say no to I love you too. And your shadow, which at once is a function of that heart space and also has its own heart. It's like, I don't know, I don't ask all those questions. I just know that I'm going with the same place you're going. So your shadow is you with you. Just notice when you've got other shadows around that are other people's shadows that you're in love with, but they're not in your living room. Come into your 13th house and circle your apartment, your city. Like, you want to move? Where do you want to move? Well, where don't you want to live? And when the answer is always like um, number, place, earth, if the love that is the sun and the stars say love here instead of there, is there a difference between going out tonight or staying in or moving to Chile? If that's where the staircase and your love and all your friends want to be and meet you. I don't know. I really don't. All I know is that I love you, and that no matter how not of anything, that always picks me up. Notice I said it, not you, because what picks you up picks me up too. Thank goodness for our hearts. Thank goodness for our singularities. Thank goodness for the inexplicable, the mystery, the wonder, and the always knowing how much I love you. Jasmine, I was just saying goodbye. But because you asked, I will ask you, what do you want me to ask? Because we are all one. And we'll see. Hi, Reese. But I was that was my sign off. So if I don't really receive a message in the next like minute, then I'm going to assume that chatbots are a thing. because nobody's waiting. We're all just in love. So either Jasmine Ferguson or Reese M. I'm going to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, I love you, none. Oh, you made it. Oh, Reese, you've got a sense of humor. You're already ahead of the game. Uh, what would you like insight on? And it will be my pleasure. And take your time. Because now I know you're asking a question, so there's no rush. Okay, that is, you guys are basically my mirrors. I appreciate that. So Reese, new relationship, question mark, Jasmine, Ferguson, money. Because everything is love, I really appreciate first that you all both neither ask me about someone else, because there is no one else. So you didn't ask me a question about that you couldn't just go out and ask the person that you want to know. I love that. Then what we're going to do is like future casting, like temperance, uh, divining instead of spying. Now I'm going to ask, um,
Are you? Is it? And then for money, is there a desire for a new job, promotion, work, the world? Basically, give me 1 or 2 words. Can you hear me now? Yeah, let's. Okay, it's because my mic died. I appreciate it. But now my laptop should be working. Does that work? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So my laptop's working. Thank you. Okay. How about now? And either way, Furtado Sync, it's meant to be. Uh, so we've got new relationship and money. So new money. So now instead of relationship, give me 1 to 3 words. Instead of money, give me 1 to 3 words. That are your words and not someone else's. Brings us closer to the desire. And now there's only one of you. Will my finances be good in September? And then last thing, Jasmine, and I really appreciate this because this is why you get a good reading. Okay, cool. So Reese, just give me 1 to 3 words instead of relationship that are more you. So we determine, and then uh, just 1 to 3 words, Jasmine, for why your finances wouldn't be good in September, or why it should, but just why it's in question. And I promise you, I'm going to give you exactly the divine answer. Okay, Jasmine, if you're still here, what are What's your hope, your fear for finances being good in September? That's the last piece of energetic equipment that I need you from. Will your finances be good in September? Okay. Okay, great. That is good for me to start. I might ask you one more question because you're being an open channel for your query by answering my like open answers or whatever. So thank you very much for being bold. It's easy to say, can I get something? And hard to convey that you're willing to give everything it needs if you can. So thank you, because that's why we're here. Okay. Page of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, High Priestess, Queen of Swords, the Fool. Yeah. Okay. Uh, the answer is yes. We've got, I don't know if you've got a Sagittarian presence in your life or for yourself or other people, or a Virgo. But where it's coming from is not from sitting around. Like there's a new idea, a new business, something like that that requires travel. It's basically like it looks like it's here. You've just got to ask for it. And the nature of the asking is creative. So maybe arts or inventiveness or technology. And where it's coming from is perhaps like a spiritual source. But it might seem that way to you in like a business, professional, mundane kind of way. But in the higher orders of energy, it's coming from you are creating, conveying, servicing in some way the truth, and then you will get paid for the truth. And it will come with an altogether new beginning in your life. And the only thing that's getting in the way is the moon, which I love the moon card because I love the moon. It's a way that you self-deceive. Okay. And we've got the Hangman and the Knight of Swords. The only thing that's going to get in your way is waiting around, like it's going to happen to you, like it's going to come to you without the source of where you know it is to be found. And it might be kind of work related, like you might associate it with doing work or being work. And your worry or concern is that your clientele or wherever you're going, maybe the source of, like if you're looking for investment or something like that, or just assistance or patronage or something like that, that you're going to be mistaken as this coming in so quick and so sharp with so much energy, with so much something. There's a fear that you're going to come in as a knight on a mission instead of a fool. But the moon's got your back. The moon and the high priestess. And if it feels like waiting, it's not the right thing. Wherever this source of income is going to come from, it's coming from you. It's got to come from something you do. You got to get it, or you got to have something that it's going to get. It needs to be gotten for. And instead of feeling like a knight on a mission, feel like the fool that's just been told, that he's going to invent the light bulb. For 100% sure, but not told how many light bulbs you're going to have to go through to get it wrong. You know that analogy of like, anyways. Let's read. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Jasmine, that is the future. Stick with that idea. It's less and less illegal every day. I'm Canadian. It's never really been high on the illegal meter as far as like being, a member of our culture, wishing to experiment. It's like never been a thing. So it's not so world changing that we've made it legal, marijuana, but it's inevitable. And the true inevitability with the decentralization of our economy into smaller, self-sufficient groups of community, which is just ourselves and each other, our neighbors, right? The real. It doesn't. We make our own laws, and what anybody can do for their community is what only they can do for their community, and that is a product that has spiritual underpinnings. So it's not just a thing to get you fucked up, but you already know that. But that's the argument you're fighting, that it's only there to smoke and get high and like that. But really, it's freaking medicinal, And you've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So Virgo energy and Aquarius energy in the Fool. It's like just be the fool. It's like you've got the kingdom. You've got a great product. And I'm going to tell you what you already know, that lemonade is only one thing, and you're learning to be like a chef, sommelier, connoisseur, chemist. And that's going to go a long way. So in another way, because like for me, the Ace of Pentacles, the aces, you've got the Two of Cups underneath the Ace of Pentacles pretty solidly. And for me, that definitely means more union of self, more self-confidence and self-knowledge, and like okayness of what you already know to be true, to be you, like let it. But since you mentioned a Virgo, I want to say that it's adjacent. Let it be helpful and not the reason to move. Because when you're in love with you, whoever you're talking to is in love with you too. And I mean that in the most grounded way. But I really think that the Ace of Pentacles for me is what? Autumn, which is what's coming up next. So if you relax September and turn it into September 20th through December 20th, let it be the autumn season. You forgive yourself the cultural stigma of your brilliant idea and your skill at it. It's because you don't understand, you also don't make a mediocre product. You're making something excellent. And you do the work. It might come through to you that like your lump sum or something like that arrives in September, but could also be that if somebody's going to give you $1 million to facilitate your idea in April of next year, because of what you start doing in September and keep doing until April, do you get the money in April or do you really get the money in September? It just arrives and looks like that because of how we structure the process in time. I think that if you go into this with the energy of your brilliance being inevitably rewarded and all sowing signs point to yes, and believe that only all the good things are going to come true. And the last thing I'm being told to really pressure is like, now are you gonna go and ask about it again? And what's this? Oh, I didn't even know that was back there. Now are you going to ask about it again? Are you going to resonate? Or are you going to vibrate with doubt about this, your idea, your genius, the opportunity, this money that you don't know what it's related to? Are you going to doubt these things again? Are you going to put them in the same category of the things that you doubt in all the rest of your life? Or do they fall now into the category of your spiritual, living, loving, wow, I'm a piece of God, truth? Like, where does it fall? Into faith, knowing, or I don't know? Because wherever you place the money, your idea, your opportunity, that's where you place yourself. Do you place yourself in I don't know myself or certain myself? And I love you. I have a really potent certainty of your inevitable cheer and wellness. And thank you for opening your vulnerable shadow to heal all else and others. Yeah, I would say just do it. And now I'm speaking a little bit. This is that. So that's the reading, and then you don't really need any more information about that. But I'm guessing that you're Western like me, and that if you're not Canadian, you're American. No one's gonna hunt you down. You don't. The way to, you're not. They can't find you if you're not afraid. And they can't find you if you've ever got something that, if you've already got, or if you're carrying something you can't lose, then you'll lose it. So if you've got a back room, or your product is wrong, that's quite a scene to be illegaling. But if you're worried about it, it's because you don't know what to do. And if you've got that kind of scene, you're probably not worried about it because you've taken all the strides. And you know that for all the success and all the goodness that can come your way, if you've got to be able to have everything be taken from you and keep going the next day. So with your idea, just on any given day, be prepared for the whoop whoop to show up and take everything. They're never going to lock you away. They're never going to make you pay. No matter what they say, no matter what the fine, nobody's ever going to show up and take it away. Promise. Don't believe me. It's just true. But if you do that, then any day that it works out, you're fine. Anytime, and especially if you've got like if things are, people are ordering things, then just have like a shipping associated price, but it's not the shipping price. You have an agreed upon price with your customers that if the product does not arrive at its destination because of the rules, some kind of border law or something like that, then you both take the hit, or whatever you've agreed upon. All right. So that way it's always win-win, or it's lose-lose, and a lose-lose is just a compromise in another win-win. And you'll be fine. Yeah. Just know that you're going to be so much better at it after you keep going. But I think you're definitely really onto something. And don't worry about how you're going to make a website, an app, how you're going to get it into grocery. None of that's real. You're already on the burgeoning, emergent tip of the new economy, which is your friends. Okay? Because when nobody else in the whole world is making a glass of lemonade that you can make, your friends might give you $5. They might give you a sofa. You'll work out your trades, however you work out your trades. Because if somebody just really wants that lemonade, there's nowhere else they can go in the whole world to get it. You're the only one. So that's why you need to do it. Because you're the only one to someone for lemonade. And anything and everything too. Yeah. I also think it's a brilliant idea. And it'll only lead to more and more success. You'll find laws falling out of your way rather than barricading. And by the time they say it's okay to do it, you will have an entire infrastructure of which they'll base what they'll try to base their like governing rules about. You're like, no, it's my playground. We do it as I say. And I'll leave with this because it's I don't know, fun fact. Genetically, ancestrally, historically, the human species did not start 5,000 years ago. Neither did the cannabis plant. And as fun as it is to smoke, as fun as it is to imbibe in the ways that we do, the reason that we love it and it loves us is because instead of eating grass, lettuce, cabbage, we were eating buds from the marijuana plant. And it wasn't crazy to us. Because like, you want to eat like half a cow and steak? Ooh, same reason you wouldn't eat all that marijuana. Or like, why would you eat that on your own? It's like meant to be put with your food or something like that. Anyways, it's the future and we're coming back to it. So thank you for your service. You're helping people's nervous systems become all that they can be in their imagination. One more card for everybody. And then I'm outie to pee. Set forth. You are the dream. Be your reality. Everything's at your back. Nothing around the corner. You're in love. It's before you. It's all downhill from here. And when you look back, even though you're still ascending, it'll always look like it's downhill from here. Well, Jasmine, you've been the best read yet, because participation is everything. And we do that by listening. But this new cycle of life is asking for each of our voices. So thanks for bringing out this side of me too. I wouldn't have done it without you. Yeah. And you're always welcome. You made me feel like I want to do this more. So thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful everything, and let the world be as much in love with you as I am. Because if you could only see me, you'd know. It's true. Namaste. And thank you for making my day. Bye. I might come on and rock out later, but who knows? Not me. I love you. Bye.